Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from gorgeous, cloudy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are fired up and excited for this day. One of my favorite days of the week, Thursday. My favorite days end in D-A-Y. It's my favorite day. Hope you guys are ready for a doozy this morning. This is the very first video I've created that I said it is a must listen. And the reason is, I hope you will share this with every one of your friends, that you'll share it on your website, you'll share it on your Facebook page, you'll share it on your Twitter or whatever, because there's an incredible amount of wisdom about to hit you, to help you, and to help other people. It does not come from me. I am fortunate enough to be the guitar in Stevie Ray Vaughan's hands, if you will, to deliver to you something that you can understand that has the power to completely change your life, and the power is going to rest with you, okay? So we make reference to, just so you know, I have a fascination with two particular subjects. Number one, etymology, word study. Word study is my jam. I'm a word study fanatic because communication is my craft. Number two is neuroscience and neuropsychology, because we do not know a whole lot about the brain. What we do know is that there are principles and laws that are in effect that, regardless of whether someone believes in them or not, they are functional and they work all day, every day. For instance, I don't believe in gravity, Steve Collins. I'm down with it. You don't have to believe in gravity. Whatever you do, please don't jump off a building, because gravity don't care whether you believe in it or not. You will be subject to the effects of gravity being real, because it's a law. Many of you know what we call reaping and sowing. You may know it by karma, or what goes around comes around. What you put out comes back to you. These are principles that are in operation regardless of a person's belief in them. Okay, so we're going to take this conversation today. Here's going to be the end result. I'm going to give you the end result now, so you'll stick around for this. The end result will be you will have a new knowledge, awareness, revelation, understanding around your ability to have a happier, better life, or for you to have a more miserable, continual, victim-filled life where you are unhappy and will likely become physically, emotionally, and spiritually ill. That's my desire today, to help you get away from all that and help you understand you have the power to choose differently. So I go into the latest neuroscience. And the reason I have a scripture up, very powerful, Ephesians 4:26, it says, in your anger, don't sin. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. Now, many of you have probably heard that. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. That's not just something that grandma taught. That is clearly a biblical principle. There's wisdom in it. But you see, a couple thousand years ago when this was written, there were no neuroscientists with the type of equipment we have to measure what happens in the brain and the physical body when we go against certain principles. They were just to be accepted and taken by faith that someone knew more than us when it came to this type of understanding. That take it by faith, believe it, and do it. Now neuroscience is catching up with the evidence behind why it's so important. Okay, go with me here. Scientific research being done today, neuroscience research being done today, has determined that during your sleep, okay, and sleep measurements and brain studies, during your time of sleep, they started on laboratory rats and they moved to human beings. They found the pattern to be the same. During your sleep, your brain goes to work to figure out efficient ways to do the things that you are focused on and are important to you at a 20-time faster rate than when you are awake. Let me give you the example, because I know that was a lot of work. In laboratory rats, they put them in a maze. And as they kept putting the rats through the maze, and they would walk through the maze, they were able to zero in on the brain activity, and it showed up as sound patterns, if you will. So, when these rats were going through the maze, they would hear sounds like boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, as the rats were learning the maze. Okay, get this. In their sleep, when they would go into REM sleep, here's what it sounded like. The memorization, the learning, the grasping, the developing of what the rats have been focused on was happening at a rate 20 times faster than in real life. Their conclusion was this: practice doesn't make perfect. Practice with great sleep, reinforcing everything that has been focused on during the day at 20 times the pace of when you are conscious and awake is occurring in your sleep. Think about this. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. If you go to bed at night angry at your spouse, angry at your boss, angry at the weather, angry at your booty and belly, angry at your kids, angry at your finances, if you go to bed at night angry, playing over and rehearsing in your head the stories, I'm huge teaching you how to be aware of the stories you're telling yourself and how you have the power to tell yourself a different story. If you go to bed rehearsing that at this speed, I hate my body, my kids are crazy, I am broke, my boss is a jerk, I ain't never going to get by in life. Guess what it's going to sound like at 20 times that speed, repetitious throughout the night. Oh, baby, it literally changes the plastic shifting movement of your brain. Your brain physically changes to adapt to that. It's a brilliant mechanism that our Creator gave us so that we could lock into the important things. What does that mean? What you focus on expands. What you focus on expands and gets bigger. Have you ever watched a scary movie at night and then had horrible dreams all night long? We know we don't want our kids to do that yet. Maybe we will do that. Do you watch the news late at night? Do you get on Facebook and feel weird and upset or jealous or funky? Do you look at the things that are bothering you and think about, do you go to sleep with your issues and problems? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you. Grandma was pretty wise when she said, now before you go to bed, little Johnny, let's get on our knees and pray. Is your last focus of the night the good Lord? Is your last focus of the night what you are grateful for? What you are thankful for? Counting your blessings? Looking at the things that you do have going for you? Anticipating hope for tomorrow? Were you going to bed at night thinking about other people? Praying for other people? Releasing that type of energy out there? Well, guess what? Guess what happens when you go to bed with that good stuff going on in your mind and your heart? It is showing up at 20 times that speed during your sleep at night. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. Could nobody explain that for a couple thousand years? It's just something the good Lord said, as he knew the neuroscience because he made the brain. It's just like something that the Texas A&M University revealed several years ago. They said, we're figuring out right now that if we will work the land, let's say for farmers, for 6 years, and then we will let the land rest for 1 year and not plant anything, then all of the nutrients and vitamins come back and we can go for another 6 years. They thought it was a brilliant breakthrough. That's because nobody read the Old Testament when God was instructing the children of Israel when he specifically said, plant your crops for 6 years, and then the 6th year I'll give you a bumper crop so that the 7th year you can let it rest. So that it didn't say why. It didn't say so that it could gain its nutrients. It didn't say so that it could be fruitful again. It didn't say that. It just said, do it for 6 years. I'll give you double in the year 6, and then let it rest for 7. Kind of like he said in the 10 Commandments. Work for 6 days, rest on the 7th. You don't have to explain it why to you. You just had to do it by faith. Now, neuroscience and research is showing up. Agricultural studies and research is showing up, proving the wisdom of what men and women have taken by faith for years and years and years. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to get sick? Do you want to be angry? Do you want to walk around looking like a bulldog baptized in lemon juice? Do you want to be that one person that when you walk in the room, everybody goes, do you want to be that person? Then let the sun go down on your anger. And be that person. Live it large. Go big or go home. Do you not want to be that person? Do you want to have opportunity? Would you like to have hope? Would you like to increase in your faith? Would you like to be the person that when you walk in the room, everybody goes, woohoo, what's up? How you doing today? Would you like to know that tomorrow can be even better than today? Then my friend, I'm going to suggest something. If you're angry at night, do everything in your power to get it right. Forgive, even though they don't deserve it. Forgiveness doesn't mean I'm okay with it. Forgiveness doesn't mean it doesn't hurt anymore. Forgiveness doesn't mean we can go to Starbucks and hang out. Forgiveness doesn't mean we cool. Forgiveness is you letting go of what's killing you. Whether they accept it or receive it or not, you let it go. Let it go, let it go. You just release that stuff, get that poison out of your body. You then get into gratitude. You get into gratitude, thankfulness, gratitude, focusing on those things that you are appreciative of. As much as it is within your control, and it's all in your control, before you go to bed at night, I will challenge you that if you want to be happier, if you want to be healthier, if you want to be more grateful, if you want to have peace of mind, if you'd like to have hope for the future, then you better guard what is going on in your mind before you lay your head on your pillow at night. In your anger, sin not. Don't let the sun go down on your anger. Now you know the latest neuroscience and research shows that when you are sleeping, what you have been thinking about, focusing on, and dwelling on during the day hits rapid fire to create patterns for you to have no extra effort to do the things you are envisioning in your head, just like driving. When you first started driving when you were younger, you had to think about it all the time, especially if you drove a stick. Nowadays, you get to work and you don't even realize how you got there because it's a pattern that your brain has put together so that you do not have to exert effort to do it. It is called unconscious competence. You just flow in it, you just do that. Well, guess what? Your brain was designed to help you with that. What you are thinking about, dwelling on, and focusing on when you go to bed at night is what's going to show up in your life 20 times greater. I give you the gift today to realize you get to decide what is going to be 20 times plus. I hope you choose the good stuff. Have a great day, guys.